exciting video where he once again joined me in the beautiful wild landscape of Scotland, and once again returning after a long time. The channel DJ is joining us for this adventure, folks. Shout out to the channel DJ. He's the one that discovered this crazy location that we're away to visit today, so credit to him. And look at this, we're actually in the, is it called the Murroes area? Murroes area here of Scotland, kind of near Dundee, I would say, in the wild landscape of Scotland. And look at this. No way. 1812, folks. Look at this window as well on the side of here. And the little bell tower with the external wire for operating it. And look, there's been an old plaque. Look, 16. Does that say 1610 or something? No way. Think how ancient that is, folks. Literally 1600s. Oh, I look. 1931, this little graveyard here was first put in. So this is the more modern graveyard at this side, and then this will be the absolute ancient one over here. This seems to be a big equestrian area around here, and there seems to be a lot of horses, so shout out if you've got horses in this Murroes area here. Look how old that stone there is, eh? This is some crazy ancient history. We'll maybe have a walk about there after we've been on this adventure. 1645 right there, folks. Crazy scenes once again on this week's videos. Look at the way this cross is carved up on the ancient masonry. Yeah. Wow, areas like this, folks, they're just full of ancient Scottish history, and it's so cool in these videos to document the places it's like hardly seen, hardly recorded, and almost pretty much forgotten. Look at the old stained glass window there. And even these old walls, they've got so much character. This little lane here just kind of leads on round the side. Yeah, there must have been a lot of money invested into these old places at a certain time. When you see the quality of the stained glass windows, the masonry on the buildings, it's so special. No like the modern plain buildings that you get. Just, wow, look at this too. This is actually the point of interest down here, folks, and this is a cool old historical wonder here, hidden in the landscape. So check this out, folks. Unseen history, like history that we've never documented before on the channel, and that's our favourite stuff to explore. Just check it out, this round building here, it's actually super interesting because it's actually a ducat. And most ducats, well, every single ducat that we've ever visited on the channel has been square or rectangular, but this one's actually of a round form, which is cool to see. It's amazing to see the different designs and the way they built things like this. And this is almost like a picture postcard scene right here with a little bridge.
Yeah, that's the main road.
Oh, aye.
That's how I see it.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is, look at that house up there, wow.
That's the thatched roof.
Yeah, there's a mansion house at the top of this hill, folks, and it's got the old thatched roof on it. So cool. That was maybe the old mill owner's house. Look at this old barn. See the character of stuff like that with the little windows and things. It almost looks like the Yorkshire Dales. Look at the old stones down along the edge of the river.
We walked in that way.
Yeah, check this out, folks. The way it's constructed with the stone from the surrounding area here. And then look at these old like lintel stones and door surrounds. You can see how it's had loads of different like doors or frames mounted in here.
See, I didn't go in because I don't know.
Oh aye, that lintel's just hanging there, but I would love just to go in to record the history. I'm not going to touch the top of it with my head. I'm just going to try and get in here. Wow, folks, here we are, right in the heart of abandoned Scottish history, once again on these videos. Wow, this is so cool. I just love to see stuff like this, folks. Just think about it, a round ducat, and each one of these holes was a little pigeonhole where the pigeons would nest. And it would have probably had a grand round roof on it at a certain time. Most likely the openings for the birds to go out and in would have been on that roof somewhere.
Yeah.
And just think, there would have been like a ducat keeper who would have potentially come in here. And I wonder if it was related to the big house up at the top of the hill. There's actually a mill here at the far side of the river, and I believe that must have been the mill keeper's house. So I'm not sure if the house was a certain size, they had to have a ducat, or
Well,
maybe
when you
it was
see
just
when you see the buildings on the other side of the river, I don't know, it looks like an old, don't know,
an old like estate or whatever.
an old farm or something.
See, another interesting thing, all these are constructed differently, and you can see this one's made with just like the rough stone, which is so impressive. Look, somebody's scored into the stone there, look. Somebody's actually scored a name in, but I don't think it's obviously too historical. No way, that was literally a pigeon that was living in here to this day. Look, there's more names being scored in all around. That's some crazy history. Sometimes on the camera it comes out easier than seeing it with the human eye, but I can just see a faint, like, mark. Oh way, look at these nettles just like growing out above my head. What a cool spot, what a cool building to start this video at. It's just amazing scenes down here, folks. It's a crazy adventure. And I just love to see it. I've said it already. It's so special. And it's mad, the character in the land with the old buildings at each side of this river. It's almost like a little picture postcard that we're in right now. Yeah, look, there's actually a little building there with an opening. See, that is interesting to see that building there. That must be the old mill that I was saying. Potentially that is a mill and then a mill keeper's house, but
And then there's been a building here.
see, an interesting thing, it may have actually been an estate with a big house, and this could have been the farm. It's interesting, yeah, this has been a building here, eh, like you say. Or would that have been an original path down from the church? Coming down between the walls. Check this out, folks, I'm just keeping the camera rolling. We're taking in all this ancient history. Oh aye, because that's a strange wall. It does curve right around there. Oh wait, look at the character of that lime kiln, just sitting within this land. Sorry, I said lime kiln, folks, I meant to say ducat. It's a good job the channel DJ was here to correct me on that one. Look, is that like somebody's little house at the top of there? It's got so much character with the flagstone roofs. See, this likely would have had a flagstone roof as well, originally. Even the character of this little tree and stuff, the way it's growing across the river. The river's been properly controlled as well with the proper dikes. And that would make me think there must have been a water wheel or whatever in this area originally. Look at that, folks, for the character of that old mill or whatever the building was, maybe an old farm building. It's so cool to see it, but it looks like it is still a current dwelling. So obviously on these adventures we always come with the greatest respects, like landowners and house owners. We just love documenting the history that's abandoned and forgotten within these lands. Just like that ancient ducat there. It's so special to see the way they constructed the stones and into a circular form like that. It's amazing. Look at that, there's like birds down here in the river. It's white ducks with orange beaks. Yeah, it looks like this house at the far side's got loads of chickens and types of animal. See, there must have been a water wheel shed of some sort around here. Because up here, folks, is the old dam, where they must have been creating a head of water. I would have thought it must have been related to that building there, though, if there was a water wheel. There's maybe even been sheds or something that's not there anymore. And there's maybe even no remains of them anymore to see. Check this out, folks. This old dam here is actually further upstream a little bit from where we were a minute ago. And this is, maybe they weren't actually feeding the mill with it. Maybe it was something to do with generating power for the house at the top of the hill. It's cool often on adventures just to throw out the theories. Sometimes you can figure out how the history of an area was just by exploring and like looking at the details. See, there's an interesting bit on the wall here, because next to where the water's running over the overflow, it actually looks like there's been a secondary little outlet down at the side there. And then they've bricked it up at a different time. Wow, it's a properly constructed little dam up here. It's mad. Wow. Yeah, I can see how that front metal plate's like reinforced with metal bars. And look how thick the dam wall is. See, I think at an ancient time that's been like properly cleaned out and all the sediment would have been taken away, but it shows how long it's been abandoned. So all that's just like filled up. And then there's just a little stream now meandering its way down. It's cool the way the water goes over that, you see it? It drops and then hits that little bit and then flows over. Yeah. Wow. And all this bit here I believe is built as well. You can kind of see the remnants of that leading into the side of the hill. It's most likely built right to bedrock, I would think. Wow. Yeah, there's some big stones that must have come off the side, maybe in the storms. I love seeing the way all this is constructed though for the control of water. And that is an interesting little secondary bit there at the side. See, potentially they would have had maybe a generator or something getting powered from a setup like that. But then when you see it, you also have to think it must be related to that mill or farm at the bottom as well. It's amazing back in the day how the controlled water. Whoa, loads of bees just came out of that bush. When you walked against the bush, loads of animals came out. Here, that's super deep there. You just see the dropping off, like, you just see it going into the darkness of the water right there, folks. What a beautiful scene right here, folks. Once again, documenting the history of Scotland here. Check out, folks, the little family of ducks right there, swimming about in the river, quite happy. And this landscape here, it's just like going back in time walking about in a place like this. Just the character of the land and with the abandoned history in the middle of it. So I just came back in here to take a couple of pictures, folks, and I was just taking it in one more time there, and I'm just in awe at the history and the things that's hidden in the landscape of Scotland here. Yeah, it's like the trees died and then had a second lease of life right there. But yeah, it's just mad, folks, the little corners of Scotland that we find ourselves in. The old house up here, it's like an old farmhouse, but it's literally got so much character. It reminds me of like what you would see in like the Yorkshire Dales or places like that with the grey stone. Yeah. And then this is obviously the boundary there of the old graveyard that we saw at the start. See these stones here, they are some massive stones. It's like there's always been a little forward crossing there. Yeah, that would have maybe been the original side of the burren. This might be like some old walking gate. Check it out, folks. Yeah. And then you can just imagine, maybe the vicar used to come along here to go up to the church, or maybe the farm workers used to stay up at this side if it was an estate. It looks like up there where that ivy's growing, it's like that's been an old house. See that house beyond there, it almost looks abandoned because it's in such poor condition. So I'm not sure if it is abandoned. The chimneys on it look brand new. And then this old bridge here, folks, this is the main road here. The Murroes landscape right here, folks. The bridge has been blocked, probably to stop cows and sheep going through underneath and running away. This is the main road here now, folks, so we're about to head up, make a little circuit and walk around the front. Everything's still proper overgrown, you can even see it with the verges here. That's how some explorers are just off limits at this time. Aye, that's such a nice little house there, eh? Yeah, it looks like the gate's not been open for years, but I believe there is somebody lives there. Look at this, folks, this gate here on the field, look, it's got an old wheel. Maybe an old mill wheel from that mill along the road. Oh, that must be what this landowner had done with old mill wheels. They made them into cool gates instead of just throwing them in the scrap heap. And then this is the same road that we came in. If you come around the main road, you see the sign for Murroes Church, and that's where we parked over there in the church car park.
There's the rear end of that building.
Yeah, we can see the back of that house, and it looks grand and ancient. And it's still got the stone slab roof, which is quite rare on modern buildings that people still live in. Check this out, folks, at the roadside. There's this stone. We're now back on the church road. That's just some random stone there. But you can see the way these dry stone walls are constructed. They're kind of different to ones that we see up the glens and stuff, but they're still obviously of dry stone construction. It's interesting to see the different styles and techniques that was used all over Scotland. Maybe some of these stones were from like an original wee gate or something that was along here.
Could be from an old mill or something.
Yeah, the stones were maybe laid along there to stop people driving on the grass. Yeah. Yeah, these stones could be reused from an old abandoned building around here. And that's been holding something on originally. You can see how the metal used to be put into the stone with the lead. Check it out, folks, this house here is so old that it's actually got the shooting holes in it for the archers, which is like what we've seen on a lot of old castles. So this must be like maybe Murroes Castle or whatever would it be?
That's what the Duke had served then.
Yeah, it was maybe this house here that the Duke had originally served. See, we're putting the pieces of the historical puzzle together, folks. And when you see a house that ancient that it's got arrow firing slots in it, and that is the original masonry there, I would say. That's a special thing to see. And now we're back round as far as this ancient grave site, graveyard. No way, folks, look at the carving on the stone here. That is intricate, crazy carving. 1762, folks. Think about the amount of work that went into a thing like this. The patterns and the sculpting. And the fact that the detail here is so perfect still on the stone. Yeah, 1756 on this one as well. It's incredible to see. Just think how many days and nights a stone like this has stood on the land here. Wow. If some of these old stones could talk, folks, they would tell an incredible story of history on the land here. Just think how ancient these stones here are. It's such a peaceful little spot as well, with the birds tweeting in the trees. I can hear the sound of the boys' chickens at the other side of the river now and again as well. And look, we can see the back of this house with the firing slot. This is quite cool, getting to see a little bit of history like this. Yeah, wow, there's proper like, look at the wall over there. There's a firing slot in it as well.
Oh, that must have been.
Yeah, that must have been like a perimeter fence. Yeah. Wall, sorry, like defensive almost. Not unless stones were reused for some reason. But look at the firing slot there, and then there's another one in the side of the tower. See, that is proper old castle construction. See the way the stones are above the lintel stone? I've seen that on real ancient castles, so I believe that's what that has been there. That's an original old structure. Here's another detail, folks. Look, these top stones have actually got words carved into them the whole way along here. And the whole way, like right around the edge of the graveyard here, I can just see that. That goes all the way around the graveyard. It's quite crazy, that. And every window here as well is a proper full stained glass window. I think those ones with the white paint around them have potentially been restored. Wow, look, this has had another detail on it, which is rare. Some crosses are just the plain cross. But look how this one's got the plants like draped over it. Wow. Some of the stones are unfortunately like broken and damaged. Look at this one here. It's just half a stone there nowadays, look. And these little stones here, they'll all be a grave. And this one here, look, it's even got stuff on the side. Look, Carnegie Dundee, that must be maybe the stone manufacturer. This one doesn't look as old. 1908, you wouldn't think it. Looks like it was put in like 1978. Just goes to show the ancient history on display in a place like this. A small corner of Angus. Yeah, and that house, it's just cool to see that at the side of the cemetery. See, often they would have like a manse where the minister would live, but I believe that house predates even the church here. Not unless there used to be a small chapel here. But the character of that, look, it's got metal bars on the window, doesn't it? There's so many little details. The faraway window, so many little details with a place like that. It's like if the walls could talk. Think of the history that those places have seen. Maybe the battles or crazy events that occurred on the land here. And then the different generations that came through. The person that would have cared for the ducat, managing and maintaining it. And some of these shrubs that are growing in here, they're like the size of trees, but they are such a slow growing shrub. I'm sure it's called a yew tree. And the fact that they're that big, it shows how old this graveyard is. It's so interesting because every stone's kind of carved differently. And look at the base of this one. It's mad, like, it's all spiky, the way it's shaped, it's so interesting. 1917. Yeah, see, 1848 though was maybe when it was last renovated and updated. Wow, yeah, see, I'm thinking these white windows have maybe been redone. Or like restored. The other ones have got that protective extra layer of glass over them. Yeah, 1848 that inlay is. And then look at the intricate casting here on these railings. Just incredible, folks. And look, this has actually fallen off, must have been here. Somebody stepped it in. Oh, the wall's properly damaged there. There must have been a tree that maybe fell. Yeah, the detail of those old castings on the railings are just mad. A lot of the time in the war, a lot of the railings and stuff were taken away for the war effort. But it's cool to see ones like this that's been left in place. Seemingly a lot of the railings and stuff that got taken away for the war effort just got dumped in the sea as well, because it was made of the wrong metal. Like, they couldn't even use it for their armaments and their munitions. Oh well, look at this, folks. This is a little peak in the corner of this entranceway. It kind of reminds me of that abandoned church that we went to at Canal, but this one's obviously not abandoned. It is interesting. See how that stone was inlaid at the far side with 1600? That shows it was maybe taken from like an original carrick here when this one was put in. Because I don't think this carrick's been here in this form from the 1600s. Yeah, 1769. Scissors and like, yeah, wow. Sometimes the old carvings are so special to see. 1769. And it's just mad to think how long since these stones were carved. They're still in such great condition. Wow, this is so cool, folks. Look at this. It's got the full skeleton carved on in there. That's almost eerie. Look at the detail. The rib cage and the pelvis. All the way down the toes. It's just incredible. But look, it's so eroded, there's no writing anymore visible. Just that incredible detail. It's like there's been a shield or a coat of arms up here potentially. Look at the intricate carving there though, it's just mad. Like the stone craftsmanship and stonework back at that time was just unreal. Nowadays they would struggle to put up a plain stone. Look at this folks, look, 1681. That shows how ancient some of this history is up here. Look, these, like the channel DJ was saying, these are similar to the ancient graves that we saw on the banks of Loch Lee at the top of Invermark at Glen Esk. And it's crazy to see them down here as well, like old graves. Look at this. All the way down. But look at this is incredible. That's almost like some of those ancient like Norman graves or whatever I saw when I was in Isla. But look, you can see it's got the angel's wings behind it.
From one stone, eh?
Yeah, the whole thing. And look at the way it's just like holding the shield. And is that it's maybe not a kilt. Yeah, the detail, the arms and stuff like that. It's just mad, folks. It's crazy to document stuff like this. And just think about the person who actually carved this. What were they doing? What were they wearing? And where were they even sitting when they did this?
Where was this?
They were maybe carving from candlelight.
Before it was being put in the wall.
Yeah. That must have been in an original place. And I just wonder where that original grave would be nowadays.
That's from the original church.
Could be. It was maybe ancient burials here before the time of...
A burial, that could have just been like on the wall of the church.
Yeah. Could have been. Look at this. Do you think this is for like tying your dog when you come to church? Or tying your old horse. Maybe there was an old boy around here that brought his horse to the church and it kept running away. So they fitted that for him. Look, this is what you see at a lot of the old farmhouse doors. This is for cleaning your boots before you go in. And it just shows maybe people were walking down an old mud track to get here. So they had to put that in.
16 something.
Yeah. 16, something that looks like a 0 at the end. So it could be like 1610, 1620, 1630 or any of those years, so on. Yeah, look at this one, 1661. Look at it there.
This is 1660.
Aye.
660. So it could be that, 1660.
Could be 1660, yeah, wow. Oh, and we noticed the old bell mechanism. Look, there's another foot wiper at this door. Yeah, look at the old bell tower here, folks. And the old mechanisms here, look, the chain comes right down to the handle. No way, look, there's another foot cleaner thing here. What even is this contraption? Look at that thing there. Yeah, I better not ring the bell. All the local women will be coming down to the church service. Yeah, I love the architecture though and the way it's made. Look, this is interesting. I wonder what these are for. There's been some sort of bracket or something mounted here. And look at the old nail sticking out the wall. But yeah, I love the tower as well. The bell tower's not just a plain tower. It's been properly constructed and made. But there you are, folks. Another crazy adventure. We've seen some interesting abandoned history. We've explored an incredible piece of wild land. And then at the end there, we've documented some ancient forgotten history. Not only with that old house next to this place, but with some of those old graves almost gone and forgotten and lost to nature and time. Look at this. The Murroes Church. And that shows we're in the Murroes area, folks. It's kind of Maniki, Newbiggin, Murroes and Teelan. That's what the four places. So I'm not sure if the same minister would go between those areas. Anyway, folks, we're just about back at the car, so we'll end this one here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back soon with the next one. Goodbye for me, goodbye for the channel DJ. We'll see you soon, folks.